always have a map. Always. This came up today because it's the one day of the entire year where I had no data for my phone. No data at all. And what happened was I was on my way to the lake to swim. And usually I use sat-nav to get me there. And yeah, I hold my hand up and say, I probably don't pay that much attention to where the direction is. I just kind of follow where the map is. And this was all too real when it came to today, when I had no data, and lo and behold, I got lost. I thought I was going in the right direction. I thought I knew where I was going, turned off far too early, got lost, and had to retrace my steps. And eventually I got there, but much later than I had intended to. Much later. Initially a little bit more stressed than I would have liked to have turned up because I didn't have a map. I eventually had a map. It was one of those paper things, a paper map, whatever next, right? A paper map. I had, thankfully, a paper map in the back of the car, and I actually was able to use it to get me from where I was down to Allothorpe Lake. And had I a map in the first place, i.e. on my phone, because I'd have data, which by the way, I actually have data as of tomorrow, but today was the one day where I had no data left and I was pretty much driving blind. And as a result, there was just so much time wasted. I got a little bit stressed as well to start with, so I had to take some deep breaths because I was like kicking myself that I hadn't paid attention before. Because I got there late, it was then a knock-on effect with everything else in the evening. I was then leaving there late. I then got home late. I then had to eat late, and then I'm going to bed late. And then I'm doing this video late. And it all has a knock-on effect when you don't have a map. And I relate having a map to having a plan, to having a goal, to having direction and knowing where you want to go. I knew where I wanted to go, but I didn't have the map. I didn't have access to the map that would get me there in the quickest way. I had a map that would help me get from A to B, but not necessarily in the most quick and efficient way. The sat-nav would have got me there faster, but the paper version, the old school version, eventually got me there, all right? And I liken this to when we're trying to improve our own health and fitness. You get to the point where you're like, okay, it's now the right time. I have to do something about this because I've been talking about doing it for ages and ages. I'm sick and tired of making any more excuses. I'm going to do something. So then you start off and maybe you find a gym. Maybe you start eating better. Maybe you just do something, all right? Which, yes, a lot of people say something is better than nothing. However, without a concrete map, without a plan, without having clarity of where you're actually heading to, you're just going to be doing, but not actually with too much direction. So it's kind of like a scattergun approach of, I'm going to exercise 5 days a week now. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to sleep better. I'm going to eat lots more veg, whatever it is. We end up doing something straight away, but without the map, without the all-important map that's going to help us to get from A to B easier, with less effort, quicker, okay, and with less stress, similar to me getting to the lake tonight. And this map, this plan, these goals, can be whatever you want them to be. The main thing is that you come up with the plan, you come up with the map, with the goal, and then if you aren't sure how to get from your A to your B, that's where you get help. Find someone who can give you the sat-nav version of getting from where you want to be, or rather where you are now, to where you want to be in the easiest way. And surely it's about finding someone who has experience in going from where you are now to where you want to be, or has experience in helping other people get from where you are to where you want to be. So something to consider. Always have a map. Always be working from your own map. Your map is going to look different to anyone else's because of your life circumstances and everything else that you have in your life, right, compared to someone else's. So your map is going to look different. However, the constant is the fact that there is always someone out there who has already traveled the path that you want to go on, that you need to go on. It's just about finding the right people, all right? And if you've been trying all these weeks, months, and years, and you've got to the point where you're like, I need to do something different, then maybe it's time to find a coach or find someone who will direct you, who will give you the left and right, who will pretty much be in the car by your side, helping to direct you in the easiest and quickest way to get from where you are to where you want to be, to the way you want to feel, which is ultimately to have more energy, to be more confident and be happier in yourself, to sleep better, to be less stressed, to lead by example to the kids, to be more productive, to be happier because you're wearing smaller clothes, because you just feel great, okay? All of those things are possible to attain by going from your A, which is right now, to whatever your B is. And it may not even be a physical move, it may be a mental move, but whatever path you want to take, I guarantee that someone out there has already trodden on that path, has already taken that path, and therefore there's value in finding someone like that to give you the shortcuts, to give you the wisdom from their knowledge of having done it before, whether it's for themselves or for other people. And then you save yourself a whole load of time, energy, effort, money, stress, and everything else that comes with trying to work it out for yourself. If up till now what you have been trying hasn't worked, what are you going to do? Continue doing the same things and getting the same results, or do something different and then hopefully look back in a few weeks, a few months or years time and go, thank funk I did that. Thank funk I changed tact. I learned from my experience in the past. I'm not going to go down that route again. I'm going to take this route, i.e. getting the right help, getting someone to map out the path that you need to take.